light in the darkness. Come with me into the darkness of a cave in Bundoran beside the Truppenny Pool. I don't know what's in here. It could be a tiger, a bear, a spider. I might even give myself a fright. Enveloping darkness. There is a feeling of deep heaviness as I enter the cold darkness. It envelops me. My pulse is racing as fear of the unknown grips me. I don't know my own bearings. There's a loss of orientation. I even doubt which way is up or down. Even if I have a perception of what I think I see or want to see, it's probably misguided, despite my heightened senses. In the darkness we can stumble or fall over obstacles that we can't even see. During lockdown, we've all experienced moments of struggle from different angles. Perhaps some like me have had thoughts inside your head that have disturbed you. At times it may seem like there is darkness within us. Perhaps there have been thoughts that have shocked or surprised, thoughts that we wouldn't want others to hear or see. There are times when our thoughts can be ugly or divisive. Temptations pull us irresistibly to do what we know is wrong. If that may describe some moments of this lockdown for you, you're not alone. You see, the darkness drags us deeper into hiding, self-deception, pain, or just plain despair. John's Gospel records an instant where Jesus compares a blind man's experience of life to that of people being spiritually blind. It's not an insult, it's an observation. You see, Jesus came to open our blind eyes and be a light of life. Light of the world. Jesus then emphatically says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. What does he mean by such a substantial claim? Jesus' statement has no geographical limits and no time constraints, so it can be true for you and me today. So I thought it'd be helpful to talk about maybe some of the functions of light. And there's two main functions that I see. One is exposure. Exposure, what is really in a dark cave, can be very helpful. For example, I've noticed that the tide is coming in, which is good to know, isn't it? But you see, light exposes obstacles. It shows the colour of our hearts. It uncovers what we are really like. This can be uncomfortable, yet there is great relief in being honest. They say confession is good for the soul. However, being exposed has its downsides too. It can be, in the wrong hands, it can be dangerous and scary. The law can be blunt and brutally honest. We can be left vulnerable, wondering, will such knowledge be used against us? But perfect love, you see, drives out all fear. You see, Jesus, the light of the world, penetrates our darkness, yet at the same time soothes us simultaneously. The purpose of Jesus' shining light isn't to consume us or to beat us up, even if we think we may deserve such things. His gaze is less like a pointing finger. It's more like a medic applying a plaster to our open wounds and sores. You see, Jesus compassionately looks beyond the offence of our sin to the damage that we're doing to ourselves and to others. That light of the world bursts like the dawn on Resurrection Sunday, when he rose to new life to offer us all a second chance. As darkness engulfed Jesus as he hung on the cross, he was swallowed up. He swallowed up all the darkness of the world's evil, paying a frightful cost so he could carry the guilt and erase the shame of all those who seek his forgiveness. You see, exposure is nothing to fear from a God like that. He gently unmasks us, and he pleads us to come to him on our knees to have a slate wiped clean. The second main function of light is guidance. One of my favourite songs is the song by the Waterboys. I can see clearly now, I'll not sing it to you, but light also brings a warm glow of hope as it guides our path. Light helps us find our way out of darkness. It leads us. Accompanying that sweet forgiveness is the guide himself. Jesus wants to join you and I on our journey of life. You see, Jesus goes first. He calls us to follow him so that we may never walk in darkness again. King David said, God's word is a lamp to my feet, or my path. You see, we're living in overwhelming days, yet beneath the surface we can suppress the darkness within, and yet it clouds our vision ahead. Jesus is pleading with us to let his light shine in our hearts. One of my favourite phrases of scripture is this: for God, who said, let light shine out of darkness, made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. As I walk out of the cave into the moonlight, it may take my eyes some time to adjust to the light. Likewise, spiritual blindness lifts like a dark fog to awaken us to the dawn of seeing Jesus in all his splendour. As God opens our spiritual eyes from the darkness to become accustomed to the light, we see Jesus for who he is. May you and I be spiritually awakened to the light of the world, and may we never be the same again. May you and I be brave enough to ask the light of the world to uncover the darkness within us and to lead us into the light. This is Matt Huckley with Bundoran Bible Reflections.